she, her, and I recently decided that I don't need weed anymore to get the munchies. I live in the hellscape that is planet Earth, and I'm one of those types that eats their feelings. I'm a woman, I'm an educator, and I'm gay. So when I tell you I'm hungry, what I really mean is I've got a lot of fucking pent-up existential rage. And you know, with the apocalyptic vibes that America's giving off these days, I find myself adding more and more people to the list of those I'm gonna eat when I become a zombie. And you know, I try to be the bigger person. I try to be the better person. I tried meditation. And what I've realized is I need to be more like my man, George Santos. Have you guys been following the story out of New York? All right, this is a classic American tale. He gets himself elected to Congress, and then he's like, haha, psych, because it turns out literally every word out of this man's mouth is complete bullshit. I gotta think, is this a long con? Is this punked on steroids? Is this a social experiment? How many lies can a mediocre white man tell and keep his job? Personally, my favorite is when he told people he was Jewish and that his grandparents were killed in the Holocaust. Spoiler alert, they weren't. And when people were like, hey George, so something's not quite adding up, right? Like something doesn't feel on the up and up. He was like, funny story, it turns out what actually happened was I took a DNA test and like 1,000 years ago I had a Jewish relative, so it's the same thing. It's the same thing. And then people were like, oh, George, is it the same thing though? Is it the same thing? And then he was like, well, I never said I was a Jew. I said I was Jewish. And I'm like, oh, yeah, absolutely. Common misunderstanding, right? Like, she said she was single. Oh, no, she said she was single-ish. And then, this was the best one, because then he was like, oh, hey, my mom got killed in 9/11. Man, when you bring out 9/11, right? But then it turns out she wasn't even in the fucking country when the towers came down. I'm like, my man, George, you can't just bring out the big guns with 9/11 and not have nothing going. But I don't know, y'all. He committed to his truth, and I am so invested. Like, this shit is better than the Real Housewives. I kind of think that Elon Musk is trying like a similar strategy at Twitter. Like, I'm not sure it's working quite as well though, because I don't know, maybe it's just harder to lean into my reality is what I say it is when your employees are having to legitimately bring their own toilet paper to work because you fired the janitors and tried to replace them with imaginary robots. The sad part is I didn't even have to write that. Like, that shit just wrote itself. I don't know. I mean, yes, okay, what is January good for if not unsustainable and unrealistic claims that everything's gonna be better? We're great, you're great, I'm great, it's all great, right? I don't know. I'm gonna call it now. I'm over 2023, right? Like, 2023 is gonna be a hard pass for me, okay? And this up and down weather that we have going on, it's not helping my attitude at all. Like, I get it, we live in Oklahoma, right? It wouldn't be Oklahoma if we weren't bouncing up and down the thermostat like some sort of fucking pogo stick. But still, this Midwest weather is giving off more mixed signals than the last girl I dated. And that's saying something. Dating is hard, y'all. Like, I know you're all straight, but like dating just in general is just hard. Like, I really liked the last girl I dated. Like, I liked her so much, I agreed to go hiking. I don't hike. right? Like, sure, okay, occasionally I have been mistaken for a sporty lesbian. It only takes one sport outing to clear up that misconception, though. Ooh, what color are we rooting for? Oh my, who let them pick that for a mascot? How are they moving the yellow lines that fast? Okay? Is it intermission yet? No, not intermission? Okay. But for real, y'all, like, how in the world does anybody think hiking, that's a date, right? Everything about that is just no. There's bugs, there's sweat, and y'all, what the fuck does poison ivy actually look like? We're standing in a forest. Everything has 3 fucking leaves. And don't tell me that it's about your wellness or health or cardio. You want cardio? I've got a cardio indoor activity that would be enjoyable for both of us. But no, we gotta go out and commune with Mother Nature. Well, I'm just gonna call it. I'm an only child and I ain't into sharing. And y'all, after all of that, right, 5-mile hike to hell, do you know what I was left with? This girl left me with an empty apartment and a cold shower. And if that's not a metaphor for dating in the 21st century, I don't know what is. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know why I'm single, right? Like, personally, I think I'm a catch. I'm like a triple threat. I'm hyperactive, I'm depressed, I'm gay. I mean, what is there not to love about this? If I think about it, it's probably because my gaydar is broken, okay? It used to be, well, she drives a Jeep, so duh, right? Do you see her keys? You see that carabiner? Right? She's wearing flannel. My God, of course, yeah. But then I don't know what happened, and now we're at like a variety is the spice of life, and it's like, oh, you drive a Subaru because you care about gas mileage. Of course. You're wearing rainbows because you're an ally. Cheers. You're flirting with me because your husband wants a third. Love that for me. Love that. Yeah. I find myself falling for a lot of straight girls as a result of this, which, who doesn't love a good unrequited crush? Am I right? Like, the more oblivious, unavailable, and uninterested they are, ooh, that is hot. That is hot. All right? And then my other favorite are the straight girls who are like, oh, Drew, I would totally be a lesbian. I just like dick too much. Oh, is that the problem? Girl, I got you, right? Mine's detachable, it glows in the dark, and it comes with 3 speeds. Yeah, I don't know why that line doesn't get me further. I don't know. I don't know why I'm single, you know? I actually recently, I went on a date with a baby gay. And if you don't know what a baby gay is, it's somebody who's just newly out. Love that for them. So I went out on this date with a baby gay, or what I thought was a baby gay. It turned into more of a spaghetti situation than a baby gay situation. I'm looking at your faces, and I'm gonna have to explain this. Spaghetti is straight until wet. You're welcome for that image. You're welcome for that image. Anyhow, like I said, it's been a bit of a dry spell, so spaghetti or not, I thought any port in the storm sounds great, yeah? And I also assumed that all ladies came with a basic understanding of critical anatomy. That was overly optimistic. I guess that's what I get for going with a girl that had only test-driven men. Anyhow, I have a growth mindset and I have that can-do attitude, and I thought I am gonna help a gal pal out with some feedback. I kept it simple. I only gave them 2 pieces of feedback. I said, slow down. Ain't nobody chasing you. And the second one was gentle, because you're not a battering ram. Y'all, she was not as open to in-the-moment feedback as I had hoped. It was a little puzzling, right? And so I found myself having to do something I had never considered doing before, faking it. And I'm gonna be honest, I've been a little judgmental in my past. I had never understood why a straight woman would fake an orgasm. But as I laid there, facing injury, I thought, this is why they do that. This is why they do that. Anyhow, I do remain still single. No idea why. So I have quite a few hours in my day to fill the void in my little heart. So I've picked up a few hobbies. I've recently started auditioning for local film and TV gigs. I actually made my Oklahoma film debut not too long ago. I played Deranged Woman #1. Is that typecasting? I don't know, you tell me. Honestly though, I was just jazzed to be on set. And so the first take was pretty straightforward. I was gonna come out of the door, I was going to bump the main actor, and then I was just gonna run off camera. Easy peasy, okay? Now, if you've ever been on a film set, there's a lot of downtime. So I found myself at the crafty table, eating snacks, and apparently drinking my weight in Diet Coke. So I was raring to go when they finally called me over to set. And I'm me, so I was in my head and I thought, I have to be so fucking impressive, right? Like, they're not even gonna notice the main actor. They're just gonna be like, who's this spectacular chick running across the screen? Oscar-worthy sprinting. That is what I was going for. So, I get to set, director calls action, and y'all, I take off like my ass is literally on fire. I make it out the door, I hip check the main actor, and that's where things start to fall apart. Because somehow I tripped on air, and I fucking flew, like Superman flew off camera and face planted on the concrete. And then you hear someone say, wow, did she mean to do that? Now, y'all, there were several approaches I could have taken in that moment as everyone rushed over to check on me. But I thought, what would George do? What would Elon do? So I stood up, blood dripping from my hands and my face, and I thought, I am gonna commit to this. I'm gonna go full fake news. I was like, I'm fine, I'm totally fine, it's great. I meant to do that. Method acting. And y'all, everybody was so fucking impressed. The director ran over, he was like, I love your enthusiasm. He's like, I want you to take it back just a hair and we're gonna go again. I was like, you betcha, right? Damned if we didn't have to do that same take with the Superman fly 10 more times. My knees will never recover, but by God, my dignity remains intact. My name is Drew Robinson, and I hope you have the week you deserve.